Come on, say it with me, people. Anytime, any place, anywhere. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. We are back with another video. On this channel, we focus on two things: fragrances, so smelling great, fashion, looking great. So if those two things interest you, go ahead and click that little red subscribe button right down there in the corner. And then take another quick second to tap the bell icon as well, just to make sure that you get notified when I upload new content on the channel. And I already told you guys, if you're not getting notified, I want you right now to stop this video, go talk to your congressman. No, I'm just kidding. Well, we need to talk to somebody to make sure we get updated when the videos come out, man. It's a shame, if you don't have to pay anything and you can watch, content like this and not have to pay for it, you should get notified when it's uploaded. That's just my opinion. Yeah. So guys, on today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 great signature scent, versatile fragrances that are inexpensive or cheap, whatever you want to categorize it as, for any guy. And I mean any guy. I mean any age, from teenager to 60s, 70s, 80 years old, if you still wear fragrances around that time. Any age, any time of the year, any place, any occasion. These are 10 great options that are cheap and inexpensive that you can wear any time of the year, any place, any time, and it is going to work for you. So versatile scents, signature scents, that's what we're going to be talking about on this list today. And all of these fragrances, the great part is that you can find them for under 50 bucks. You know what? I need you guys to give me a virtual handshake. Just reach to the camera, reach to your screen right now and shake my hand for this list, because this list is that good. I mean, this list can serve so many purposes. This could be, honestly, like a most complimented list, because all these fragrances are that good. You get a lot of compliments, you get a lot of attention, and again, they're inexpensive. Now, I throw around the word inexpensive, cheap. I have heard some people say don't refer to fragrances as cheap because, I get it. The perfumers on these fragrances, a lot of times these are very, well-known master perfumers that work on these fragrances. But at the end of the day, it's just words, guys. We're not talking about the fragrance is cheap that is not good. Obviously, it wouldn't be on this list. Cheap meaning, when some people are looking for an inexpensive fragrance, they use the word cheap. That's all it means. So cheap meaning how much it costs, not the quality of the fragrance. Okay. Now that we've addressed that, if you want to see what made this list of 10 cheap or inexpensive fragrances, signature scent fragrances for any man, then this is the list for you. You know the routine. Keep it locked right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into this list. I am going to give you one honorable mention. And the only reason I'm giving this as an honorable mention, I usually don't fall prey to considering a hype around a fragrance or how much a fragrance is talked about when I do my list. I usually don't really take that kind of stuff into consideration, but in this case I had to, because this fragrance has been talked about so much. But I honestly would be remiss if I did not mention it on a list like this, because this fragrance to me epitomizes what this list is about. So a quick honorable mention goes to this one from the house of Mont Blanc. Of course, this is called Individuel. Individuel, and honestly, I give Jeremy is the problem with this particular fragrance, because he talks about this like 3 or 4 times a day. So the sweet fabric softened with the raspberry touch. Yeah, but you know what this fragrance is, man. Again, it's been talked about a lot, but Mont Blanc Individuel to me epitomizes a signature scent that is inexpensive, that can be worn year round. It smells great. You're gonna get compliments when you wear this fragrance. And again, you can wear this anytime, any place, anywhere. That's the theme of this list. And again, I would be remiss if I did not mention this fragrance on a list like this because, again, it embodies everything that I am talking about on today's list. So if for some strange reason you've been living under a rock somewhere and you never heard about Mont Blanc Individuel, check it out. I heard it's been discontinued. I fell prey to that as well and got like a couple backup bottles just in case, but check it out, man. This is a good one from the house of Mont Blanc. It's called Individuel. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on this list, Kyle, again, we like Drake on this. We're going back to back. The house of Mont Blanc again, and this one is called Mont Blanc Legend. The original Mont Blanc Legend. Now, the funny thing about this, this particular fragrance is one of the fragrances that I picked up early in my fragrance journey. When I really started doing YouTube videos and really, I would say, delving far into the whole hobby of collecting fragrances, I had a nice size collection already. But I used to wear Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce all the time. I was looking for a cheaper alternative to that fragrance, and I was doing some research and found out about this one right here. So a fragrance that's associated with Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, I mean, you already know what time it is with that kind of scent. Mass appealing, easy to wear, compliment magnet. This fragrance right here, and it's really, really simple. Again, at this point in time, you can find this fragrance for under $40 in most places that you're going to look for it. And again, I will link all these fragrances down below if I can find them for under the $50 price point, which, you know, I'm pretty sure I can. But this is one that you definitely need to check out, man. Again, the theme of the list, anytime, any place, anywhere, any season, any reason, any occasion, you can put this thing on. You're gonna smell great. You're probably gonna get compliments, all these good things that people like to hear about. So check this one out from the house of Mont Blanc. This is called Mont Blanc Legend. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on this list comes from the house of Coach. Don't call it a comeback, but this fragrance was released in the year 2017, and this one is Coach for Men. Coach for Men. Now, Coach had a few fragrances back in the day, a long time ago, and seemingly were on somewhat of a hiatus. And in 2017, it came back with this right here. Again, this fragrance, pear, bergamot, amberwood, suede. Again, you see the theme of this list. When you look at these fragrances, you can wear these fragrances in the spring, summer, fall, and honestly, most of these stand up in the winter time. That's why they are signature, scent worthy. That's why these are versatile scents on this list, and you cannot go wrong with fragrances on this list. You can get like 5 of these fragrances if you're not like a hardcore collector. You can get 5 of the fragrances from this list, and you can be set year round, anytime, any place, any season, any occasion, and it's gonna cover all the bases. You're gonna be able to smell great. You're gonna be able to get compliments in the whole 9. Again, 5 fragrances on this list will do the job. So check this one out. It smells amazing, especially the pear note in this. I love it. From the house of Coach, this is called Coach for Men. Guys, the next fragrance up on the list today, the house, I can't even really pronounce it. It's like Ye di Sistele or something like that, but the fragrance is called Thallium. Thallium Paris. Now, while most fragrance enthusiasts would consider this fragrance to be a synthetic mess, trust and believe, trust your boy on this. This fragrance will get the job done. Any season, any reason, any occasion, any place, anytime, anywhere. This fragrance is going to get the job done. It's going to get you compliments, and it smells absolutely fantastic. This is another fragrance that has the note of pineapple. Pineapple, there's some kind of sweet, warm vibes that you get as it dries down. I'm thinking maybe some patchouli in here, some cedar wood, an apple note as well. So it's really fresh and fruity in the opening. It's really, really sweet as well, but you get that nice kind of warm, woody dry down, and I love it. Again, it stands up in the cold. You can wear it any time of the year. Of course, that's what the theme of this list. And again, this one you can find for under 20 bucks. And trust me when I say this may be the most complimented fragrance on this list. So again, while most people, again, that consider themselves fragrance enthusiasts may kind of crap on a fragrance like this, it is what it is, man. Most people that you come into contact with are gonna love the way this stuff smells. So pick yourself up a bottle of this, do yourself a favor. This is from the house of Ye di Sistele, or Sistel, however you pronounce that. But the fragrance is called Thallium. All right, guys, now the next fragrance on this list was created a long time ago, 2002. But again, for the price, you're getting a great bang for your buck from the house of Lacoste. This is simply called Lacoste Pour Homme. Lacoste Pour Homme. And again, I don't think I should have to keep saying this, but I will do it one last time. Anytime, any place, anywhere, any season, any reason, any occasion, any age, you can rock this fragrance and you're going to get great results. It smells amazing. And what I love about this fragrance, it introduced a very, very unique plum note. But this fragrance is really, really one of those sexy fragrances as it dries down. And honestly, this to me is a less expensive version of Chanel Allure Homme. If you've ever smelled that fragrance, it gives you that nice kind of fruity, citrusy opening, and then it dries down to this kind of sweet, vanillic kind of dry down. And that's what I love about this particular scent. Man, it is so good. And again, another one you can find for around that $25 price point. So if you never smelled this one before, do yourself a favor and put your nose on it. From the house of Lacoste, this is called Lacoste Pour Homme. All right, guys, now the next fragrance on this list, honestly, this is proof that my opening statement stands. This fragrance was done by master perfumer Alberto Morillas in the year of 1998. And I think over the course of the years as this fragrance has been reformulated, a lot of people talk about the fact that it does not perform that well anymore. But man, I will honestly tell you, this is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. Just the scent DNA alone, it is really hard to beat this one. I'm talking about this one from the house of Givenchy or Givenchy. This is called simply Pi. Pi from Givenchy. And I love the way this fragrance smells. Again, it's not the best performer. I don't know what year this formulation is that I have, but look how much juice I have used out of this bottle. And I will tell you, I'm going to get another bottle of this when I run out, because again, simply, if you want to talk about scent DNA, this is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled for my nose, and what I like to smell in a fragrance, what I like to get from a fragrance when I smell it is very, you get this nice blast of mandarin orange when the fragrance opens up. The heart of it is really, really spicy and floral. Primarily, there is a lily note that I get in this, and a nice spiciness that comes from basil. But to me, the stars of this fragrance are in the dry down. You have a beautiful almond note in this. I love the almond accord in this fragrance. So you have almond, tonka bean, and vanilla as it dries down. Oh my gosh. Anytime, any place, anywhere, you can wear this fragrance. And I'm telling you, this is the best smelling fragrance on this list, hands down. So check it out. I think it's still worth a go. Because again, at under $50 for a fragrance like this, and you can find it, just take it with you and reapply after about 4 hours and you're good to go. From the house of Givenchy, or Givenchy, or Givenchy if you want to say it that way. Pick this thing up, man. This is called Pi. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on this list, I rarely hear anybody talk about this particular fragrance, but it is a fragrance that suits the criteria for today's list. From the house of Jimmy Choo, this is Jimmy Choo Man Blue. Jimmy Choo Man Blue. And guys, listen, this is not the typical blue fragrance. I talked about this fragrance on a list that I did a few months back when I was talking about just blue fragrances, and this one definitely, I think the name can kind of be misleading on this, because you're not going to get that aquatic ambroxan thing that you're used to getting from a lot of your quote-unquote blue fragrances. This thing is spicy, and it has a nice leather and kind of sandalwood dry down. So again, it's not what you would expect from the typical blue fragrance, but it has that mass appealing DNA in it at the same time. So you can wear it pretty much all year round. And again, it's going to get you compliments any season, any reason, any occasion. This thing will work as well. So again, for the price point, I think it's definitely worth picking up, and is one that I think is very befitting for this list. So check it out, from the house of Jimmy Choo. This is Jimmy Choo Man Blue. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list, we're going to the house of Versace, and this is Versace Dylan Blue. Versace Dylan Blue. This is one of those fragrances when I got my hands on a sample. I can't remember what fragrance I purchased when I got the sample, but I got my hands on a sample, and when I smelled it, I immediately said, I have to have a bottle in my collection. This is a fragrance that I will always have a bottle of. Is it groundbreaking? No, but for what it is and what it does, this is one of the best in class. You talk about Ambroxan, and again, another fragrance that was done by the great Alberto Marias. Just a fragrance, again, that is so versatile and is so good in any scenario that you can find yourself in. Anything, I mean, from date nights on up to more formal type of attire. I really think you can wear this and get away with it in any season. So one of my favorites of all time when we talk about the genre of inexpensive fragrances. Definitely one of my favorites of all time. This is from the house of Versace, and this is called Dylan Blue. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list was released in the year of 2017, and this is called Missoni Parfum pour Homme. And really simply put, this thing reminds you a lot of Bleu de Chanel. And, you know, again, we already know what Bleu de Chanel is. And again, it's going to kind of put you in the mindset. It's not a direct clone because there are some very distinct differences between the two fragrances, obviously. But yeah, man, it's definitely going to put you in that mindset. So, of course, Bleu de Chanel to me is one of the most versatile fragrances that you can put your nose on, honestly. And this kind of follows in that footstep. So when I am, you know, talking about fragrances that kind of, you know, meet that criteria, you know, this is definitely one of those fragrances that I would say that I would recommend you go and take a look at, because again, you know, it's starting to really pop up at discounters, rack stores, and if you see it, if you like Bleu de Chanel, if you like the fragrance I just mentioned, honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Dylan Blue as well. But guys, check this one out, because again, I think it's one that you will really enjoy. And again, it's from the house of Missoni. It's Missoni Parfum pour Homme. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list needs no introduction. I'm just going to show you the bottle. This one is called Mont Blanc Explorer. Mont Blanc Explorer, and if you are paying attention, you notice that this is the third fragrance from the house of Mont Blanc that I mentioned on this list. To me, Mont Blanc is a very underrated house for fragrances, as it relates to fragrances. Of course, we all know they are very infamous for their pens, but again, when you talk about fragrances, I think they really do a great job in that category of fragrances. Because again, you're not going to really, most of these fragrances after they've been out for a couple months, you're going to find them in discounters and things of that nature. And when you can nab these fragrances or pull the trigger and get these for under that $40 price point, most of the fragrances from their house is really, really worth it to me, and this is no exception. Of course, we know this is a fragrance to me that is inspired by Acqu Di Gio. It's not a clone, because I think this really goes in a totally different direction. The opening, though, is going to remind you of Acqu Di Gio. So for that, and the fact that, again, it's a Mont Blanc fragrance and you get pretty good performance, this thing is very, very versatile. Again, the theme of the list, you can wear this anywhere from a teenager on up into the rest home, and you're gonna be able to smell great and do it and not have to break the bank. So definitely a fragrance that's worth being on this list from the house of Mont Blanc. This is called Mont Blanc Explorer. All right, guys, and last but not least, the last fragrance that I want to mention on this list is an iconic fragrance, in my humble opinion, from the house of Dolce & Gabbana. It was released in the year of 1994, and this is simply called Dolce & Gabbana pour Homme. Dolce & Gabbana pour Homme. This fragrance to me is one of the best fragrances in this genre of fragrances. When you talk about fragrances that are versatile, that can take you to any season, that can take you through any occasion and any age range, and you can wear it and smell absolutely fantastic for a great price. Now, over the years, of course, since 1994, this fragrance has been through several reformulations. And I mean, you can get into all that if you want to do some research on it, but there's ways you can tell when your bottle, outside of just checking a site like Check Fresh, I think one was made in Italy and some other places, so you can kind of tell what bottle you have. But I don't care what formulation of this fragrance that you can get your hands on. If you want a signature scent, I really, really recommend and highly recommend that you check this fragrance out, because It is everything that you want and everything that you need in a fragrance. And again, most places you're going to be able to find this stuff for under the $50 price point. So guys, it has everything you want in it. It has a nice citrusy opening. It has a beautiful lavender that kind of is going to take you in a nice kind of fougere kind of category. And then the dry down, man, is just to die for. Again, this formulation that I have, I get about 5 hours of performance out of it, maybe 6. But again, if that's a problem for you, just reapply it. It's worth it. Check it out from the house of Dolce & Gabbana. This is Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today as I gave you 10 great signature scent fragrances that are inexpensive or cheap, whatever word you want to use. I hope you enjoyed the list. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos because, of course, you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget, guys, to take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to folks that you think could potentially use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your guy, Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better, keep checking out the channel. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.